Welcome back to the channel, esteemed members. So I'm going to throw a few ideas at you. So, I don't remember if I covered this in the members only section or not, but it was about the SWIFT system that they're trying to put together. They've been talking about it for quite some time, but it seems like they're making some progress on that system. Of course, they've had a lot of help from Chainlink, right? Chainlink and any other company that hasn't been announced yet that they're probably working with, any of these utility coin companies. They're putting together that system it's like a CBDC system, right? Now, this is what I'm talking about. Yellen, this article is titled, Yellen Threatens Sanctions for China. Now, wait, BRICS nations makes up, what do you say? Their people as a whole make up 3.2 billion population on the earth, 3.2 billion people. And you're threatening one of the leaders of those people, the leaders of that segment. Yellen threatens sanctions for China banks. Wait a minute. Those people are not going to take that. So if you're going to threaten them, what can you use against them? You can use SWIFT. This is what they used against a lot of other countries before. They say, no, you can't use our systems anymore. We're kicking you out. You use the dollar. This is not going to harm them if they had to take action. This is not going to harm them, the other side. This is going to only harm the US. And then let's circle back around. This is why I believe most of the world will not want to use any type of Western-based system. They can work on it all they want, just like FedNow. There's a reason why FedNow was a failure. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I can only speak on right now. The rest of the world that they have to do business with, that manufactures almost everything, they don't want to use those systems. So then your reach is limited. The banks that are in SWIFT system are limited. They're, businesses that use the SWIFT system are limited. They will never have that global reach. So then the question is, how do they acquire that global reach? They could only do that through the bank coin companies. Bank coin companies have global reach, or someone utilizing a system similar to the bank coin companies. There's a lot of companies I don't even cover. But that's the only way they can maintain global reach. You're going to have to have that intermediary, that connector piece there. I don't see any way around that in the future, of course. Of course, I could be wrong, but this is what I'm seeing. Look at this. So they have a problem with Russia. They have a problem with China. They don't have a lot of good relations in Africa, although the IMF tries to get their hooks in with, offering SDRs. But really, at a certain point, unless you're going to bring in military action, you can't really enforce the constant deal making that you might want, especially when others are coming in, like China with other deals. And listen, I try not to get into all that stuff, but I'm looking at it as a moneymaker and looking at the dynamics of what system is going to be used and which system is not going to be used. So there's a lot of battling going on in a lot of places. Latin America seems dead set on having a digital system and being a part of the new financial system. You see, Algorand has run wild in Latin America with setting up systems. Stellar has a foothold in Latin America. Ripple has a deep foothold in Latin America. And I believe Quant also, let me not forget Quant, because they're working with LAC chain on all that interoperability and overledger stuff to connect everything together, right? So it looks like the new financial system is dominating, and this is helping. This is helping. I don't know why you would put this out into the press unless you really wanted to bring down the system. How does this help? I just don't see any other reason to put this out. They could easily call China and say, hey, listen, we got a problem with what you're doing, and this is what we feel. Instead, you put this out to the press. Why? Right? Why? They want the people to know. They're putting out the alert. They wanted to bring down the system, or, if it can, damage the system a little bit more. There's been a lot of self-injury when it comes to the West, I notice, and they want the people to know. I just think a lot of people don't read this type of news. But China owns a lot of, although they have divested a lot, they sold a lot. A lot of countries sold a lot of what they own in the United States, and they got the heck out of Dodge while the getting was good. But they still own a lot of properties in the United States. They own a lot of farmland, which, by the way, they own a lot of farmland that's also near rivers, right? So that's rich, fertile land, right? So China has a deep hand in the United States. Why would you threaten them? So once again, that goes back to business. How do you continue to do business with this type of verbiage? I don't understand why the West keeps taking this type of verbiage unless they want their systems to be irreparably damaged and the relationships to be irreparably damaged. So going back to the SWIFT system, Fed now, how does that have global reach if 3.2 billion people in the world probably will not be able to use those systems, which those people, just in case someone said, well, it's the people, not the banks. The people are connected to the banks, right? And the banks have to have the people in order for them to stay in business. So they're all really together. So if the people cannot use this, the banks cannot use this. Those governments over there are really governments globally really are totalitarian at this point. They just control what the people do and no one says anything about it. Just this is what I'm observing. I could be, maybe you have a different experience, but I don't see them taking too kindly to this. I see them taking umbrage to this. And so once again, that system gets limited. That system gets cut off, and you just can't do the bulk of your business through a system that has limitations globally. You just can't. You should be able to move money anywhere you want, anytime you want, whether you're an individual or an institution. And that's where you have companies like Quant come in, Ripple, Algorand, Stellar. And I think they know that. I think they know that. I think this is why a lot of the bank coin companies at times, they just get quiet. They're just putting in work. And that's what I want them to do. I don't want you shining on YouTube and being a vlogger. I don't want you putting out YouTube videos if you're a company, because some companies do that. They spend, it's like they lose sight of what they're supposed to be, and they start trying to be superstars. I don't need superstars. I need money makers. So I need companies to go quiet like Ripple. Like a lot of, to juxtapose, a lot of people have a problem when Ripple gets quiet. They say, what are they doing? Are they doing anything? And I don't. I say, good. I don't need you talking. I need you working, right? That's what I think. So I think when they go quiet, they know that the board is sort of set for them. Now, of course, once again, there's no guarantees. They have to still execute. They have to actuate on that. But I think they believe in themselves enough, in the infrastructures they've already set up enough to feel that when they get to that point, they can dominate. Things like this are setting it up where they'll be able to dominate outright. That all of these systems that the big central banks, financial systems, governments are setting up are siloed. They're severely cut off from each other. And that fragmentation, I'm going to use a word that Janet Yellen uses quite often, but that fragmentation is putting us in the driver's seat. Unless something changes, that's where we're at as of now. So I just wanted to put that on your table there. So I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, let's get to the money.